Good morning, Year 5. Welcome to your Tuesday virtual maths lesson. We are going to start with our mental maths as always. 4 questions on the screen, plus the 3D shape at the top right hand corner. Give yourself 30 seconds by pausing the video now. Let's go through the answers. Question number 1. Add 0.63 to 0.74. When I add those two amounts together, the number that I get at the end is 1.37. Use a quick addition method, addition using column method for that, that's fine. 1.37. Question 2. Subtract 0.35 from 0.78. If I subtracted that amount from 0.78, I would get the answer 0.43. You might have found the difference there by putting 0.35 in your head and then counting up to 0.78. Again, you might have used a column method. Question 3. Round 0.81 to the nearest whole number. I'm looking to round it to the nearest whole number. I looked at the column 1 to the right of that, which would be the tenths column. Because I have a value 5 or greater, then I round it up to the next whole number. If I've gone past 0, the next whole number would be the number 1. Question 4, how many girls are there altogether? So I'm looking to add the two values in these boxes here together. If I did that, I would get the answer 155. The shape in the top right hand corner is a cylinder. Well done if you got lots of those correct. Let's begin our lesson then this morning. Today, as our walk tells us, we are learning about subtracting decimals with the same number of decimal places. So yesterday we were looking at adding, today we're looking at the inverse. Let's take a look at our first example. I'm going to use the column method and the place value grid to help us understand. So the column addition method, the column subtraction method is going to be 23.51, which is what I've represented in my place value grid here. And from that, I'm going to subtract 21.36. So I've started by representing 23.51 on my place value grid. That's what I've represented here. The first thing I need to do is start in the lowest value column, which in this case is the hundredths column. And the first thing I actually need to do is subtract 600ths from 100ths. That's what it's asking me to do. As we can see from looking at the counters, this currently can't be done. So to allow us to do this, we need to perform an exchange. We can exchange one of our tenths. Let's do that. We can exchange one of our tenths for 10 hundredths. Because we know that 1/10 is equal to 10 hundredths. They have an equal value. We can now see on the place value grid that we have 4 tenths remaining and we have 11 hundredths. Let's show this on our column subtraction method here at the top. So I exchange one of my tenths. So I no longer have 5, I have 4. And I exchange 1/10 for 10 hundredths, which I'm putting with my hundredth I already had, to give me 11 hundredths in total. I now need to do 11 hundredths subtract 6 hundredths, which will give me 5 hundredths. I do that with my counters as well to just check my answer. So I've got 5 remaining. 4 tenths take away 3 tenths, gives me 1/10 remaining. 3 ones take away 1 1 would give me 2 1s. I should have put these in as I was going. And 2 10s, take away 2 10s will give me 0 10s. So the answer to 23.51 subtract 21.36 is 2.15. That's a terrible, terrible, terrible number 5, but we know that it definitely is 5 because we've just worked it out using the column method and also using our place value grid. So that example will be similar to the first 5 questions that you get this morning on your worksheet that goes with this lesson. So let's see how you get on with that. The next example we're going to have a look at, if we just get rid of all of these, is going to be represented in a word problem form. I'm going to I want to work out how much more does the bag of apples cost than the bunch of bananas. Now, a great way to practice our work with decimals is to apply it to a real life context. So I'm going to apply it to money. So the bag of apples, I'm going to say costs £1.63. And the bag of bananas, the bunch of bananas, is going to cost £1. Oh, I hope you can see that on your screen. £1.18. Maybe I won't use the yellow pen. For a question like this, using a bar model can be really useful to help us work out which operation to use. Bar models are really helpful when you see word problems such as the one we've got in front of us, particularly when it uses words such as more. Because quite often when people see the word more, which I've highlighted in red on the screen there, they think they need to add. Sometimes when you see the word more, you do need to add, but other times you need to subtract. Using a bar model helps us to overcome this confusion. So I'm going to draw us a couple of bar models on the screen now. So, and we know the apples cost, and I know you'd tell me off in class for not using a ruler for this, so I do apologise in advance. So I know that my apples, let's just move my bar down a little bit, cost £1.63. And my bunch of bananas cost £1.18. So we want to know how much more do the bag of apples cost than the bunch of bananas. So we're looking for the difference in the gap here. As the bar model is clearly represented there, it is find the difference that we're looking for because we're looking for the difference between. To help us do that then, I'm going to do myself a little column method calculation here at the side. So we said £1.63 subtract £1.18. Put my decimal point in before I start so I don't forget to do that. First thing I'm going to do, start with the lowest value column, is subtract 8 from 3. 3 subtract 8, which we know from using our counters cannot be done easily. We did the counter example a moment ago. So again, I've got to perform an exchange. I'm going to perform an exchange by exchanging one of my tenths. So I'm not going to have 6/10, I'm now going to have 5/10. I'm going to exchange 1/10 for 10/100ths. I already had 300ths, so in total I've now got 13/100ths. 13/100ths subtract 800ths would give me 500ths. 500 subtract 100th would give me 400ths, and 1 whole, take away 1 whole, would give me 0. So I know that £1.63 subtract £1.18 gives me 45 pence. Back to my question, how much more does the bag of apples cost than the bunch of bananas? The apples cost 45p more than the bunch of apples. Big tick for us, we got it correct. So using bar models to help you with certain calculations can be really useful. Questions 8, or questions 6 to 8, should I say, are going to be the ones that you're going to be using bar models with today. So they will help you answer those few questions. Just finally, get rid of all of these. We're going to have a look at one further question. This last question is going to be, what is the difference between A and B? So I'm using a number line this time. We want to know what the difference is between A and B labelled on our number line. We can think of the word difference in this case as meaning what is the gap between A and B, number A and number B. To do that, I'm going to perform a subtraction, and I'm going to perform quite a tricky subtraction, so watch carefully. I'm going to start with my larger value on the top, as I always do when I'm subtracting. So 470.13 subtract 437.97. Decimal point in. Here we go. So I need to do 300ths subtract 700ths. As we know, we can't do that easily because we have a smaller value on the top. We always need the larger value on the top, as I've just said. So I've got to perform an exchange. So we're going to exchange 1/10 for 10/100ths. In total, I have got 13/100ths now. So I had 3, I've just exchanged 1/10 for 10/100ths. So I've got 13/100ths in total now. 13/100ths take away 700ths would give me 600ths. I have a problem now because I've exchanged the 1/10 I had. I can't do 0/10ths take away 9/10ths. So I've got to exchange. When I go to the next highest value column though, there isn't a value in that column. So I need to go even further along and exchange from here. So I exchange 7/10s. No, I don't. I exchange one of my 7/10s for 10/1s, leaving me with 6/10s here, 10/10s here, 10/1s, sorry, here. I can now exchange the 10/1s, or one of my 1s, leaving me with 9/1s, and exchanging 1/1 for 10/10ths. 10/10ths take away 9/10ths will leave me with 1/10. 9/1s take away 7/1s would give me 2/1s. 6/10s take away 3/10s would give me 3/10s, and 400s take away 400s would leave me with no hundreds. So the difference between A and B is 32.16. Final answer. So having a look at using number lines when finding the difference and subtraction is something that will help you with the final few questions on your worksheet today. I'm going to leave that with you now for you to have a go at the lesson. Let us know how you get on, and I will see you